Okay, let's talk about some of the frustrating parts about building a custom one-off car. I've been working on these doors for like weeks now, probably closer to months, honestly, when it comes down to it. I'm trying to get the S550 window motor to work, and I had it set up here, everything fit, but the bend radius with this drive assembly or unit I'm trying to use, this guy right here, is too tight and it won't rotate it. Everything works if I have it set up just like I do now. It rotates the window up and down, but just trying to figure out how to mount it, I just can't. There's not enough room. I have limitations of the door. I have to work with that. There really is no extending or adding metal or anything like that unless I want to go crazy and restructure everything and change the door card and all that stuff, which I really don't. So I bought the S550. Where's it at? All right, so I bought the S550 motor, which was gonna go up inside here. Everything fit. I made a custom mount that attached to the 3 bolt locations, and I had an adapter that went from the splines on this to this drive unit right here. This is what the adapter actually looks like. The bolt pattern is the same on this motor too. So got that all designed. Everything worked. And then the bend radius is too tight. So had to completely scratch that. I tried to go to, this is an F-150 motor. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller, which I thought was crazy because the window in an F-150 is a lot heavier than the one in the Mustang. I mean, as far as I could tell, I guess. This is a 6-pin. The size still kind of, I mean, it would work, but with this bulky adapter and having to go to the drive unit, it just takes up more space. It pushes it down, and then the window frame actually touches, and I just could not get a good spot. And the wiring actually will not work either. So then I went to this one, thinking that maybe with this 90-degree connector, instead of this kind of angled offset one, maybe I could mount it over here and then run the drive unit up this way, and there's just not enough room. It's just not going to work. So I also had to scratch that one. But then I was thinking maybe I could buy this one, which I've seen pictures where it looks like people flip it and you get a better angle. It bends easier, and it's 2 separate rods essentially instead of one physical piece. And I figured maybe you could get a better bend radius, but that's not the case. No way that that's going to work. I have to scratch that motor, all 3 of those combined, and then I actually think I had another S550 because I thought I could get it to work, and that's also just junk at this point. So anyways, what I'm left with is this harness that's currently a mess. This is what I was using to, I guess, test the equipment. And what I'm going to end up doing is just using this motor, and then I'm going to use 2 relays that are going to reverse the polarity depending on like the position of the switch, and then that way I can get my up and down movement for this motor using the OEM switch right here. And I really wanted to keep this switch assembly because I'm using the power mirrors, and I wanted to be able to use this for the mirrors and the windows. The only thing that sucks about doing it like this is I will not get the automatic roll up or down. So it is what it is. At least I'll have power windows. All right, I got everything mounted. The attachment to the regulator is mounted. This motor down here is all set up. I left enough room to where the cable can go through to the handle. It looks like it'll clear. I'll still be able to use that. I did try this out. It does work, so I'm going to show you. I ran the window up, so we're going to run it down now. We have to use 2 relays, up, down right here. This is all voltage, so we get 12 volts on either side of the switch. So we'll have to take the 12 volts. This will be our trigger. And then we are also going to take this accessory, which will go to that white wire. And then we have hot all times, which is going to go to that red wire. And then, of course, we have our ground and everything too. Okay, so I have everything mounted. Relays are all wired up. The switch is wired up. I have 12 volts basically jumped to just this switch here to be able to give this power just to test it. Everything is loomed. This will be for the lock unlock which is those relays down there. And then we have these relays for this, which is just taking the input and then, switching the polarity for this 2-wire motor. It's the only way that I can do it, be able to use these switches with the universal motor. But it does work, so I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. As long as I have power windows, I'm happy, honestly. I don't know about the longevity of these universal motors. I've seen some reviews where they quit after a couple months, and hopefully that's not the case. But we're going to go ahead and test this. Just have a little bit under 14 volts. It works the way it's supposed to. This is just going to get rough cut. It is what it is. We're going to make a piece that matches this and covers all of this crappy cut. And it'll get compressed down right here. And then there will be 2 holes that I can run a bolt down into and attach it to that plate that's underneath. So it should look, compressed like this. We'll have to design that lip raised, and it's going to have a little bit of an arc. So when it gets compressed down, it should match everything. Okay, so I'm really glad that works. At the end of the day, as long as I have power windows, I'm happy. What I'm not happy about is I have to do the exact same thing on the other door. We still have to sand this down and paint it too. Get some epoxy primer. So I'm going to finish the other door, get this sanded down, paint both doors, and then we're going to start working on, I think, the door jambs and probably this hatch area. Get this all sanded and cleaned up, get that painted, get the door jamb painted, and then we can put the doors on and start doing the body work. Okay, so it's the following day. It took me forever to figure out how to mount this thing. The way that the OEM style works is, you have this button right here. The little plastic tabs will catch on to, more flexible plastic, and it's hard to mimic that with a 3D printed piece that has layer lines. It just wants to split at the layer line. So I was able to make something, get that to work. I was able to flex it around those tabs, and then, it locks into place. So I'm happy with that. That works. This is set up to where I can rotate this, up or down, depending on how I want to press the switch inside the car. I think we're going to leave it like this for now. Lock and unlock buttons are done. Everything works. Now we're going to go ahead and take everything out, get everything sanded, prime it, work on the car a little bit, and then get these doors mounted. All right, I got everything taped off for seam sealer. We're gonna seam everything up. I'm gonna do this backside all around this panel, and then pretty much all the way around the hatch area. And then we also have this side too that we're gonna do. This should get coated with another coat of primer, but I'm not going to. I'm getting a little bit impatient, and I don't think it necessarily needs it. It would definitely help on, you know, some of these spots that got like burnt through, and it's a little bit uneven. There's some bare metal, so should technically get recoated, but I'm not going to worry about the door jamb areas and stuff that you're not going to be seeing all the time. I still want this to be a driver, not, you know, the perfect immaculate condition to where I don't want to drive it. The outside though, I'm definitely going to be taking a lot more time on getting that perfect. But for the stuff like this, I'm not too worried about it. All right, got all the seam sealed. All this stuff is done. I think I need to put a little bit more right here. And right here too. This side looks good. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I gotta do that. Damn. Walked right past that. Okay, so gotta redo that. Alright, this is what we're dealing with today. 4 days straight of just sanding. This is the part that I absolutely despise doing when building cars. We're gonna have to spend a lot of time correcting that body line. You can see it kind of dips down right here, dips down right there. And this is all painted. We're gonna end up masking it off after I polish it. I had to do a lot of work here too. Super wavy down this entire thing. And then up here, you can see how thick the filler needs to be. Honestly, this probably should have been cut, split open, and re-welded. But I did not realize how much it actually just kind of narrows down at the end here. This is most likely probably something that should have just been cut off and like welded on lower, but I wanted to replace as much metal as I possibly could. This side looks pretty good. This is all filler. Everything right here where that seam is at. I'm still gonna do a little bit more work there too, but right now it doesn't look that bad. I think that side is better than this side, or vice versa. Maybe this side's a little bit better. You can see it kind of like lifts up right here, so this has got to get corrected. Body filler is probably gonna have to get down a little bit lower and then just kind of mold it in. Top side doesn't look that bad. And then I painted the jambs. It turned out all right, but I was not happy with the way that the sides looked here at the bottom of the rocker when it like rolls over. I did not realize how wavy it was until I painted it, and yeah, I pretty much just sanded it all back down. What I'm gonna do is we're just gonna scuff all of this again. I'll probably have to go pick up a little bit more paint since I used some on the jambs and, you know, the rear hatch area and stuff, along with the doors. I also did the doors, but we're just gonna scuff all of this back up and we're gonna paint it individually. What I really wanted to do was paint the jambs, put everything together, and then do my body work on the car and then spray it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's just not gonna look right, or it's just, I feel like it's more work to do it that way. Okay, so everything sprayed with the second gallon of SPI epoxy primer is completely failed adhesion. As you've seen in those clips, I could just take, a piece of the lifted primer, really, and just completely pull it apart. So I did some cross-hatching tests on a few other parts that I sprayed with that second gallon. They all failed. So I have to strip down the doors, the fenders, the cowl, the hatch, and I believe that's it, which is a lot. It's going to take quite a bit to redo all that. That being said, this is where we're at. Quarter panel is almost completely finished. Just working on the body lines right now. Everything is leveled with the quarter to the door, door to the rocker, and then door to the fender. The only one that I'm not doing is rocker to the fender. It just sticks out so much right here that there's no way, you could see or imagine how much body filler I would have, to match that. And then I got some patchwork I need to do. I need to fix this up. It's kind of a pain to be able to get in here. And when you apply this filler, it just wants to go in between the door and the rocker, and then it, hardens up. It's hard to get out. So that's going to have to get fixed after I take the door off. Fender is almost completely done. Did a lot with the buckets here. Pretty happy with that. I still need to do some small spots that it looked like somebody might have had like that cover, that clear cover here, and then they put some holes in some areas. So that's all got to get worked out. I did weld it, and now I just need to do a little bit of filler work over it. This is completely flat. Super happy with that. I think I may end up doing a little bit more work to match with the hood too. And then this side also turned out pretty good. It looks like a lot of filler, but it's really not. It's super thin. We're just making sure everything is completely flat with it. With this being black, I'm not taking any chances. I got some work I need to do on this side. This side is nowhere near as close as the passenger side. I started on the passenger side, just kind of been jumping back and forth. You can see I started doing a little bit of the body lines on this side. And a ton of work back here. This is, I don't know, nowhere near where it needed to be, just with metal. Still not happy at all with these quarter panels. They freaking suck. Lots and lots of work to be able to get the quarter panels to look right. Alright, so this is my 8th day so far, so we're about 70 hours in. We'd be a lot further if we didn't have to strip a lot of the work that I did. So a lot of it was just kind of wasted. It really sucks. But it is what it is. We're going to move on. We still have to get this side finished, do the other side. I haven't even done anything with the roof yet. We got the hatch that's going to have to get stripped, and then all that's got to get worked with body filler. Not really going to be too much on the hatch itself. I think there's a couple areas right here, maybe some distortion from welding the plates on the bottom side of this. And then we also have to match this quarter to the hatch and then the roof line, which I think the roof line might be good. I might not do anything with that. Maybe a little bit of work. I absolutely hate doing body work. I despise it. And it was like almost 90 degrees today. I'm just out here sweating. And just blocking this side, I probably have well over 10,000 passes, just, constantly going at it all day long. Definitely the people who do body work for a living, props to them. And the guys that can do metalworking and get it perfect without any body filler, even more props to those guys. So before I close it out, one other thing I'm not entirely sure I want to do, I haven't really decided yet, is this quarter panel. So it looks like we have a pretty sharp line. That's what I was working at. And then when it gets back to here, it kind of rolls over. And I've seen maybe there's different quarters. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like some people's body lines are higher and kind of flat right here. So I'm not sure. I haven't decided on that. I may work that a little bit different. I don't think it looks too bad. So it would be a sharp line here and then just kind of a rolled line, and then it goes back into a sharp line. So yeah, I looked at a bunch of pictures and I couldn't really decide whether it should be sharp or if it should be rolled from factory. So yeah, I don't know. I'll probably do a little bit more research and see what the factory looks like and go from there.